Sarah and Hops with the Rhinebeck School of Music, and in this lesson we're going to talk about taking your C major scale and doing some things to kind of start making music out of it. Right? So scales are not music. You practice your scales, and most people are like, why am I practicing these scale patterns? Every time I play a solo or I improvise, it just sounds like a scale. Well, if you practice your scales like a scale, that's what it's going to sound like. So what I say is that scales are like your guide rails, right? They're the notes that, okay, all the notes in these patterns are going to work in the key of C. They're going to go with all the chords that, somebody would be playing in the key of C. And those are all the notes that are going to sound good together. So here's one exercise. I'm going to do a series of these going through different intervals. So if you take this scale and you play it in what are called thirds, then you get a more melodic sound out of that scale, right? You're going every other note. So if you don't know what a third is, I always refer to thirds as, everything in music theory, you're counting letters in the alphabet. So if the letters in C major scale are C, D, E, F, G, A, B, back to C, right? C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. What we're going to do is we're going to go every other note in the scale, right? Because from C to E is a third, right? So it's 3 letters. I skipped the D. It's 3 letters in the alphabet from C to E, right? C, D, E. Now if I start on the next letter, D, and I go D, E, F, I skip the E and go to F, that's a minor third. If I go E, F, G, E to G is a third, F, G, A, right? G, A, B, A, B, C, and then B to D, and then I'm back to my root again. So another way you can think about it is you can write out all the notes in the key of C and just play every other letter, right? So you start on C, skip D, go to E, start on D, skip the E, go to F, E to G, F to A, G to B, A to C, B to D, C to E, D to F, E to G, F to A. You keep going. So I have this all written out for patrons. You can download the tab for this. So this is just one place on the neck that I'm doing this, and I'm just doing it through the scale, right? And I'm ascending. And then every time you ascend a pattern, you want to descend. You can do it in every position, right? Starting on this E root. In this position. Anywhere on the neck that you have a C root, right? You can practice that pattern, those intervals in that pattern. Another thing you can do is you can take it on, horizontally on 2 strings at a time. So here's my C here. If I play my C major scale on the B string, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, I have major third, minor third, minor third, major third, major third, minor third, minor third, major third. So you notice that the major third is like a little bit of a smaller interval, just a half step, and the minor third is a whole step. You can also play these as chords. Or you can play them on any string grouping, right? So there's a lot of things that you can do to kind of open up your major scale just with these thirds. And that checks out diatonically. If you're going to play the chords in the key of C major, your 1 chord is major, your 2 chord is minor, your 3 chord is minor, your 4 chord is major, your 5 chord is major or dominant depending on what you're playing, your 6 chord is minor, your 7 chord is either half diminished 7 or a diminished triad, right? So that's what you're playing in all this: C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished, and then back to C. So that all checks out diatonically with the chords that you're playing as well. So you can practice these like an exercise, or you can come up with some kind of, easy chord progression in the key of C and just try to experiment with the sound of these. When you go to do like a little bit of a faster run, maybe, you can kind of put those in there to kind of build the momentum in that. Or you can try to think of, each chord individually, like here's my C chord, my G chord, my A minor, to my F, right? My C, to my G, to my A minor, to my F, and kind of outline the chords that you're playing. You can hear the chords, within what I'm playing there, because I'm kind of thinking of the thirds of each chord as I'm outlining the chord progression, right? So again, I have those things written out for my patrons below. You can download that stuff at patreon.com/Rhinebeck School of Music. Hope you've enjoyed this lesson, and I'll see you at the next one.